Part 3, Life in the Spirit. Chapter 2, The Human Communion. Article 2, Participation in Social Life. Have you ever asked yourself, why does authority exist? Why does society need leaders? And more importantly, what does God expect from you, not just as a believer, but as a member of society? Many people today struggle with authority. Some distrust it. Some reject it. Others follow blindly. But the Church gives us a deeper vision. Not political. Not ideological. But spiritual. Today we enter one of the most powerful teachings of the Catechism, a message that reveals how faith is not only lived in prayer, but in how we build society together. Because living in the Spirit is not only about heaven. It is about how we live together on earth. 1. Authority. Let us begin with a truth that many modern minds resist. Human society cannot exist without authority. Without order, there is chaos. Without guidance, there is division. Authority is not merely power. It is a responsibility. Authority means the capacity to make decisions for the good of all, to preserve unity, justice, and the flourishing of the community. And here comes a profound teaching. Authority is rooted in human nature itself. We are not created to live isolated lives. We are made for communion. And communion requires structure, leadership, direction. But the Catechism goes even deeper. It teaches that true authority ultimately comes from God. Not because God desires control, but because God desires harmony. Authority exists to serve the common good, not personal ambition, not domination, not selfish gain. And when authority forgets this, it loses its moral legitimacy. The duty of obedience. Now this raises a challenging question. If authority comes from God, are we called to obey everything? The Church gives a balanced answer. We are called to respect and honor legitimate authority. Why? Because respect creates unity. And unity reflects God's design. The early Church even prayed for rulers, asking God to grant them wisdom, peace, and stability. Think about that. Even in difficult times, Christians prayed not only for themselves, but for those who governed. Because leadership is heavy, and society depends on leaders acting with justice. But obedience is not blind. Authority must remain aligned with the moral law. When authority fails, here is where the Catechism becomes incredibly powerful. Authority does not create morality. Morality judges authority. If laws contradict right reason, if they violate human dignity, if they oppose the moral order, then they lose their binding force in conscience. An unjust law is not truly law, it becomes a form of violence. This is not rebellion. This is fidelity to truth. True authority is not despotic. It is moral. It seeks freedom rooted in responsibility. And this is why balance is necessary. The rule of law must prevail over the arbitrary will of individuals. Because authority without limits becomes oppression. But authority guided by justice becomes service. 2. The common good. Now we move to one of the most important concepts in Catholic social teaching. The common good. What does it mean? The common good is the set of social conditions that allow people to flourish fully, both as individuals and as communities. It reminds us of something essential. You cannot fully thrive alone. Your good is connected to the good of others. We are interdependent. And therefore, our moral life is never purely private. Respect for the human person. The first element of the common good is respect for the dignity of every person. Every human being carries inherent worth. Authority exists to protect this dignity, not to diminish it. This includes the right to conscience, the right to religious freedom, the right to privacy, the freedom to pursue one's vocation. When society respects these freedoms, people flourish. And when dignity is ignored, society begins to fracture. Social well-being and development. The second element of the common good is development. Not only economic growth, but human flourishing. Authority must help create conditions where people have access to food, work, education, healthcare, culture, family life. Because human beings are not machines. We are spiritual and relational. And a society that neglects human development slowly loses its soul. Peace and security. The third element is peace. Peace is not merely the absence of war. Peace is the stability of justice. Peace requires security, moral security, social stability, and protection of the vulnerable. This includes the legitimate right to self-defense and collective defense. True peace is built when justice and love meet. The global common good. The Catechism reminds us that humanity is increasingly interconnected. We belong to one human family. And therefore, the common good extends beyond national borders. Issues like poverty, migration, refugees, and global cooperation are not merely political debates. They are moral concerns. Because every person shares equal dignity. And every society is called to participate in the good of humanity as a whole. 3. Responsibility and participation. Now comes the most challenging part. Because this teaching is not only about leaders. It is about you. Participation means actively contributing to society. Not withdrawing. Not complaining from the sidelines. But engaging. Faith is not passive. Every person participates according to their role. Parents participate by raising children. Workers participate through honest labor. Citizens participate through responsible civic involvement. Your daily actions shape the world. Even small choices contribute to the common good. Active participation in public life. The Catechism encourages citizens to take part in public life wherever possible. Why? Because freedom without participation becomes empty. Healthy societies allow people to contribute meaningfully. And faithful Christians are called to bring moral clarity, hope, and compassion into public spaces. The call to conversion. Participation requires ongoing conversion. Justice demands honesty. Fraud, corruption, and manipulation destroy the social fabric. And therefore, institutions must be built to uplift human life. But institutions alone are not enough. Hearts must change. Because society reflects the moral condition of its people. Education and hope. Leaders must strengthen values that inspire trust. Education plays a vital role. Because the future belongs to those who give the next generation reasons for hope. Reasons to live. Reasons to believe. And ultimately, reasons to love. Final inspiring message. So what does this teaching reveal? Authority is not about control. It is about service. Obedience is not weakness. It is participation in order rooted in truth. The common good is not an abstract idea. It is the daily work of building a world where every person can flourish. And participation is not optional. It is part of your dignity as a human person. The Church reminds us, living in the Spirit is not escape from society. It is transformation of society. Because when authority serves justice, when people seek the common good, when hearts choose responsibility, then society reflects the kingdom of God. And that begins with you.